Hi, everyone. I'm DeFi Dad. This is episode 24 of Yield TV. Okay, it's October 30th, 2020. Welcome back for another episode of Yield TV. I am fortunate today to have the co-founders of Dodo joining us. So we've got Diane and Radar Bear. Thank you so much for calling in so late your time. How are you both doing?
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm just had a flight back to Beijing. Yeah, we were in the Shanghai for the Wanxiang blockchain week. Yeah, and unfortunately I caught a cold in Shanghai. Yeah, so I can't really make a sound with you. So I just invite my partner Radar Bear come to join our conversation, and he can talk more with you and with everyone.
Yeah, thanks so much. And just some context, Diane has a little bit of a cold, but she's been kind enough to still join us. So this will be a joint interview. We'll ask you both lots of questions. And Radar Bear, how are you doing? Welcome to the show.
Hi. So wow, it's a really professional show, much more professional than I think. So it's really interesting. I'm very happy to join you guys. So you can compare or Radar Bear. So I'm co-founder of Dodo, and I write a smart contract. I'm still in Shanghai, just back from the Web3 conference meeting, and I'm really happy to share with you about Dodo.
Yeah, I am really excited to, of course, talk about Dodo and also get your insights on, as a team that's building on DeFi, a premier team building DeFi in China. I just have really been excited over the last few months to meet more teams. I know the team from Monte Carlo Dex. And so anyways, we just had Arthur 0x on as well. He's based in Singapore, but at least talk to me a bit about the DeFi market in Asia. So anyways, let's start with some easy ones. Let's start with, how did you both find yourselves in crypto? Like, what was your journey to deciding to build Dodo?
Yeah. So, I studied physics and economy in university at Peking University, and I'm a PhD candidate at 2017, and I know the founder of DDEX at that time, and he tell me about Bitcoin, Ethereum, and smart contract, and I really believe the story, so I quit from my PhD candidate and joined DDEX. So at DDEX, we are doing, maybe the first DEX in China, and also that is a very early stage of the DEX all over the world. While we worked with Sterex, and then we write our own contract, and we do market making. We provide best liquidity for DAI stable coin, maybe the first market maker in China. Although I just quit from university like 3 years, but actually I worked I built DEX for 3 years. So it's a long career time for DEX builder for DEX builder. So Dada is my ex-colleague at DDEX. So she's in charge of Medium, and I'm in charge of the contract.
Very cool.
Yeah, we were both young when we were at DDEX, and we grew up together, and support each other. Yeah.
What year is that? When did you start working on DDEX?
2017.
2017. Wow. Yeah. We're really. I'm curious, just to talk about DDEX for a moment. Was the idea behind DDEX from the start to be a decentralized exchange, to offer decentralized margin trading and lending, or did that iterate and change over the years from 2017 through whenever you left?
Of course, it changes. Like at the first time, we only support the spot trading, because so we are very grateful for Xerox team, because they give the idea of like off-chain matching and on-chain settlement. So it's really impressive, and we think that can help build a non-custodial exchange. And so we are once the biggest Xerox relayer at like 2018. And well, after a few months, we think that we can move further. Like we can provide margin trading or even the well, perpetual contract. So we start build our own contract, our own protocol, and well, to give more features for our customers.
I gotcha. Yeah, makes sense. So this is probably, we could just pivot then into talking about Dodo. Can you talk to me about what is the unique value that Dodo provides? Because I'll say what I know everyone talks about is the idea is to reduce impermanent loss, or to not have to be impacted by impermanent loss if you're a liquidity provider. So can you talk to me more about that? Like, what is the utility, I guess, of Dodo?
Well, the most well for the most time we are talking a story about that Dodo moves the price curve to follow the outside market price, so it can reduce the impermanent loss. But actually, what will happen is that we are redefining the market rules. Like in a healthy market or normal market, that maker and taker, they can both provide their opinion of the price. So maker give a price, and if taker take it, that is a price settlement on the market. So the AMM, well, it is a good design, but it's not a normal market. Like maker cannot provide their opinion. So
Right.
the price discovery is in a very low efficiency way. So well, that is the essential cause of the impermanent loss. So actually, we provide some method for the liquidity providers to give their opinion of the price. So for now, Dodo is the very young stage of the while the algorithm is the Oracle price. For now, it is some price from Chainlink, from the centralized exchange, but actually it's not only limited on this. You can provide any price you think is right to the on-chain world. Like we worked at DDEX for the order book DEX for a very long time, like 3 years. But I finally don't do order book anymore, because I realized that the on-chain calculation, on-chain and on-chain storage is expensive, and even some layer 2 solution find a way to improve it. It's still expensive, and you can never get it cheap as a centralized storage. Like if you are building order book DEX, you can nearly never get close to Coinbase or Binance, because the storage and calculation is expensive. So Dodo provide a framework of how can you build like liquidity in a few parameters. So just like you are compose an image. So normally an image is very like it contains a lot of information, just like an order book. But the most useful information is only a few parameters, like what is the bid price, what is the bid ask spread, and what is the slippage. If you can define these very few parameters, you can recover the order book like 99%, and it really reduce the cost of if you want to set your opinion, like you are actually place some order or provide liquidity on chain. It's really a cheap way, and it can makes it happen on chain. So order book is the most advanced market rule or the market structure. like for thousands of years in human history. It is proved to be the best one. But if you want to make it on-chain, that is too expensive. And we provide some way, that is the PMM algorithm. You can nearly provide it on-chain, like provide it like 90% of the 90% of its feature, but only 1% of the cost. So that is what is the philosophy behind our algorithm? I'm not sure if I explained it clear, but
No, yeah, I wanted to dig in. No, it's a complex topic. I was listening actually to your interview with Delphi Digital a while ago, and it was definitely helping me. What I wanted to call out here is, does this help at all for us to look at? So these are your documents on your website, and you start to talk about what is this proactive market maker, which is PMM, different than an automated market maker. And you've got this visualization here where we're going from the sell side to buy side. In an automated market maker with the Uniswap curve, like you're visualizing what is the price here versus how that works with the PMM on Dodo. So as a user, I understand that the value that you're trying to provide is I should be looking to get better price from you than from a standard AMM. I guess what I'm wondering is, how does this work on the LP side? Like, what is actually happening? What incentive is there that is designed so that LPs are able to provide liquidity, which in your case, you can deposit a single asset. You don't have to provide two, which is very unique. So that's awesome. I don't have exposure to two assets. I can choose just one. But yeah, anyways, I guess how are you zeroing out impermanent loss? Like why am I not being impacted by it? What is unique about this PMM?
Oh, cool. So there is a concept called the extraposition. Like if I have 100 USD and 1 Ether, that is my base position. If I buy some extra Ether, that is my extra position. So every secret, all the secret about market making is how to make how to handle your extra position. Well, in our algorithm, so we can concentrate the fund near the oracle price, so it can provide a very good liquidity for the traders. If someone trade with the liquidity providers, they give liquidity providers extra position. And whenever I receive extra position, I will adjust the price based on the oracle price. So that will incentive the arbitrageurs step in, and they will help me handle these extra positions. Like they arbitrage, and they help me lower down my extra position.
I got you.
So actually, so the LP's fund is only used for a temporary, like a cash. So actually, the traders trade with the outside market, but they use the LP's funding as a cash.
I got you. Yeah, because that is something that stuck out to me with Dodo, is that you are working with like legacy market makers. This is not there's lots of legacy market makers that I think are participating in like a Uniswap and balancer, but in this case, like that's a part of what's unique to Dodo is you've created these incentives to have these entities involved. I guess anything else though that's worth calling out here around the Dodo token? Like I do want to talk about liquidity mining. I was curious, does the Dodo token figure into the PMM model? Like, is that part of what drives the success of this? Or do you not require the Dodo token for PMM to be successful?
We do not require Dodo token to be, well, it's hard to say because, liquidity mining is a kind of like compensate to the makers. A healthy market structure must give some compensate to the makers, because makers give a free option. That is a concept, because they place order and this order is a free option. We must compensate them. So normally we can give some like trading fees to them, but at a very early stage there is not enough trading fees for them, so we give Dodo token to them, and Dodo token will play an important role of our exchange. So we are although we are a DEX, but we have a lot of like service, like this service, and we have a lot of plan about the utility of Dodo in the future that will, of course, have some value added to the Dodo token. So the Dodo token is
a governance token, right? Is that the right way to think about it? I mean, currently it's a governance token.
Yeah.
Is there, and I know you can also stake it, which we could talk about some liquidity mining probably now, but for right now, it is, I guess the right way to think about it is governance plus liquidity mining, which tend to go hand in hand. But that's how it's used right now, and it has no it clearly has an effect on the success of Dodo. I think like the PMM model, but I think what you're saying is that you do not require the Dodo token for PMM to work, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Cool. Makes sense. Okay, so all right, so we've kind of covered then so far that I as a trader am able to use Dodo, and I'm able to potentially get assets trading at a better price. I mean, that's the end goal. I think, Diane, you mentioned if like a good way to test that is go to 1inch and compare prices and see where Dodo falls in there. I am curious, can you remind me, at this point, is Dodo providing liquidity to all the DEX aggregators, or are we still in like an early phase where you're liquidity mining and later on like you'll launch more functionality? I guess what I mean to say is right now, like how much liquidity is Dodo providing to DEX aggregators?
Well,
yeah, I think
we already please.
Yeah, they have integrated with basically all the DEX aggregators like Matcha, 1inch, Paraswap, dbank.com. Yeah, so I think if you search on these aggregators, you will always find for this listing trading pairs on dodoex.io. Dodo provide Dodo is the one of the best liquidity provider showed on these aggregators.
Yep. Yeah. Definitely. And just to in case anyone missed that, you can go to a DEX aggregator like 1inch. They tend to show all the different liquidity sources, and then dbank.com has a swap as well where they're listing more of it. Our Zapper swap is still just Balancer and Uniswap, so I think like those are better resources to check out at the moment to kind of like dig into the Dodo liquidity prices. Maybe let's talk about what's always interesting to folks. Can you walk me through how liquidity mining works with Dodo? Like also too, I know Radar Bear, we've got your screen and I can share that if you don't mind. Do I have permission to share your screen? Cool, we'll add that in here. Yeah, can you walk me through how does this work? And how does one earn Dodo, and when are those rewards released?
Okay, cool. So, well, actually, the most efficient way to get Dodo is to mine Dodo with Dodo. But if you want to like use USDT to mine Dodo, it's really easier. Like you can just deposit.
Yeah, there we go. So, and this is very familiar in terms of the design. Like it's kind of like using Uniswap, but the difference here to call out is I'm able to add liquidity on one side. Like I'm able to, in this case, you're just adding Tether. Normally, not normally, but with Uniswap at least, you would have to provide two at once.
Yeah, if you want to provide USDC, it's also fun, like single risk exposure. And whenever you deposit, you can.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So this is after. So I've added liquidity, let's say with Tether, and then I go to the mining tab here, and I would stake the liquidity token, LP token.
Yeah, so you will get the LP token. So it's not the same number with what you deposit, but it's fine. Just deposit. Just stake it.
Very cool. I was just responding. Someone had a question here, like, is this like a Zap? And I'm like, yeah, kind of like we. This is really like where our roadmap is with Zapper. We want to support Dodo and Cream and Mooniswap and trying to think who else. Bancor, of course. Like we want to have all these liquidity sources enabled so that folks can zap in. But in this case, what's really unique about what you all offer is that you can add it just to the one side. So to provide liquidity here, am I right to say like it's just you and Bancor that do this, right? I think those are the only two places where you can truly add a single asset. When we do it with Zapper, we're actually in the background. If I were to add it to the USDC pool, the Zap actually swaps it to like whatever ratio is correct. So, as a user, you feel like you're adding one asset, but you are adding two. It's just that the Zap does the trade in the background, and then it adds the two tokens into the liquidity pool. In this case, you are truly adding at the protocol level a single token into a liquidity pool with Dodo.
Yeah, of course.
Cool. And then how often are rewards distributed with Dodo? Like, is it continuously, or is it something like, do you have epics like Barnbridge has a 1 week epic, and then you can harvest the rewards?
Well, the 60% of the token will be distributed to the community by various of campaign, and we do have some phase like the first period of Dodo incentive plan is the gray period, and it's finished. And you can see that this pre-allocation that is from the first phase of incentive plan. Gotcha. And now we are in the second phase of liquidity mining, and all the mining is continuous. Like we distribute Dodo every block. So this second phase is called Pika Pika. The Pika Pika will last 6 months, and after that, we will like make the third phase based on the market
and our own product. Yeah.
Can you talk to me about why you chose 6 months? I feel like we went through a pretty exciting summer, and I guess were there lessons that to take from what you saw there, and because it's definitely a longer term incentive, and it's something that I'm wondering if we're going to start to see more teams return to those longer term incentives versus the super short term liquidity mining program that lasts a few weeks. Anyways, how did you guys decide that? How do you think about designing those long term incentives?
Well, why 6 months? Because after 6 months, we will have our Dodo grow in a big Dodo that we will complete nearly like 80% of what we are thinking, and that will bring very incredible product. I cannot tell to everyone what the product will like, but it will be a very, very good product. Because we are this is a very young stage of Dodo, and we keep hiring and build the team in the last months and make a great progress. And we think we can make a lot of things happen in 6 months. And after that, Dodo token can be used in a lot of situations. And well, for the long-term incentive plan, we do think that the market moves really fast. So I cannot imagine what will happen after 1 year or 2 years. So I think it is better to make it flexible for the incentive plan.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Also, when will we start to see governance proposals voted on? Is that already happening with the Dodo token? Like, is there that decentralized governance already in place?
Well, it's not happened because for now, the Dodo platform is not permissionless and it is not controlled by a governance contract. But what we are working is to build a permissionless platform. And this permissionless is not only like the admin is a governance contract. No, well, it is a totally permissionless. Like you can list and you can stake for some like well, it's hard to express in English, but you will see a lot of interesting design of the platform, and for the governance contract, it will be released after the second version of Dodo, which means that after the second phase of incentive, the Pika Pika, there will be the plan of governance. And we do think that a very early governance is not a good thing because first, the product is not ready. Second, your community is not strong, and maybe they don't know what they are governance. Like maybe they don't know what is mean by changing parameter. Maybe they think that changing parameter in a very aggressive way, but finally it may make the platform suffer a loss. So these 6 months is also our time to tell our community what is Dodo, what is the algorithm, and what is the advantage and disadvantage if you want to change a parameter.
Yeah, I am definitely of the mindset that once you decentralize, things become very challenging. Now, it's great from a trust standpoint if you know that there is no sort of centralized risk there anymore. But I get it, and it's been interesting to watch a spectrum of teams in DeFi launch because Dodo is rather new, and I think the more control you have right now to continue to quickly iterate, make changes, listen to the community, and also too, I guess, in place of what would be that like completely decentralized, permissionless approach, you have raised some money from some really reputable teams like Framework Ventures, and I tend to, for better or worse, when I see a name like Framework, I'm like, okay, if they're behind this, this is clearly a team that has been vetted, and so I'm willing to take a little more risk, getting started. So, tell me more about what are the downsides to Dodo. So, talk to me about like we know what's awesome about it. We know that like it's meant to be the next evolution of what is an AMM with this PMM model. I'm curious, like, talk to me about how this can fail. Like, what would have to happen for you to discover that your hypotheses aren't working?
Yeah. So the downside of Dodo is, well, we are based on an assumption that the outside market has the biggest volume, and we follow their price. But once Dodo grows, well, greater than the outside market, it is dangerous.
Mhm.
If you are using a small market price to get a big market, that will be dangerous. And that is what we call the Oracle failed. So it's dangerous. And we already have some solution of it. We will have a version of Dodo algorithm that not depends on the Oracle, but depends on the market behavior. So there do have some dangerous situation, and we have make a lot of like preparation for this worst case happens. Like we can shut down a market to avoid the LPs suffer too much, and finally we will find our own method to market making natively on the DeFi world. So that will greatly decrease the dependence on the Oracle, which means dependence on the centralized exchange, and that will great helpful for us.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Diane. No, please. Yeah. What were you saying?
Yeah. So when it comes the day that Dodo doesn't rely on Oracle anymore, that is the day the DEX dominate the liquidity rather than centralized exchange. That is the day that our dream come true. That DEX have the price discovery ability.
Got it. And so right now, Dodo is reliant though upon oracles like I thought you work with Chainlink. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. And are you saying long term eventually Dodo would actually become its own? I think the right way to say is would become its own oracle. It wouldn't be reliant upon like another oracle like Chainlink.
Well, in our big vision, the price will not only come from a centralized world, but will come from some very specialist people's opinion, like the big market makers, because this kind of market making. So there are two kinds of market maker.
Yeah,
one is the cross exchange market maker. They just they are actually some arbitrageurs. They mirror the liquidity. And the other is the single exchange market makers. They made liquidity. They can take some risk, like they can hold the extra position for a relatively long time. So this kind of market makers build the majority of the centralized exchanges liquidity. And these kind of market makers would love to move on chain if there are enough traders in the DEX, and they can provide the price natively to the exchange. So you can imagine that there is a Coinbase running on chain. So before Dodo, they don't have it's very expensive for them to enter this world because all their strategies is based on the order book. They place and cancel order that will cost really too much on chain. But Dodo provide a solution like not maybe that's a framework for them to provide the service on chain to make it happen that they can get the price natively on chain, but not just a mirror of the centralized world.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's like it's something that I'm excited to watch play out because like when I first heard about Dodo and I checked you guys out, I'm like, I mean, this is kind of what I wanted, like, and provide liquidity with a single asset. I'm not going to incur impermanent loss if this is working correctly. So really interesting to watch you and Bancor too. Bancor's recent launch. I think it's going to be really exciting over the next few months because, you know, I have experience with Uniswap and Balancer, and I've always been kind of in amazement of like how like simple it is, like how it really does work, but at the same time, like there's tremendous risk in impermanent loss. And a lot of people don't understand impermanent loss until they go to withdraw their funds, especially new people to DeFi. They withdraw the liquidity and they say, shit, what happened to my money? You know, it's smaller than when I went in. And, you know, this is a big development, you know, if Dodo can be successful in this. So talk to me then more about what do you think is the hardest part about building in DeFi right now? Like, what do you see as like the biggest challenges ahead as you know, one of the core teams building out really one of the more reputable names now in DeFi?
Well, the DeFi world really moves really fast, and moving fast is not a bad thing, but actually develop the smart contract is not so fast.
Mm-hmm.
If you move too fast on the smart contract level, that is a very dangerous thing. So what is really struggle is you must respond the market, and you want to make everyone happy, but you also need to balance the develop time. And back to 2018, the most difficult thing is to find the customers. Like there is very few people use DeFi, but for now it's much better. It grows really fast, but the users demand or they are talking what they are talking about is really complicated, and there are a lot of things they want, and you need to make a decision what you want to provide.
Yeah. Diane, anything to add there on what do you think is just expanding on, like, what do you think is challenging about building in DeFi?
Yeah, I think every builder and founder need to balance the requirements and needs from the market, between the market and your own strategy, your own idea, your own thoughts. So sometimes you should watch the market and respect the market and give people what they want. But sometimes you should just clarify what are noises, what are the truths, right? And then you decide what you should do. Yeah, choose the right thing.
Yeah, listen to community feedback, but don't get lost in the noise, which there is a lot of noise in our space. I'm curious, what DeFi apps do you both use regularly? I'm always interested to learn, like, for those of us that are working in this space, what other DeFi protocols or applications do you use most often?
Yeah, actually, my daily DeFi application is Google Translate. I use Google Translate every day. Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah.
Common tool. Yeah. And
that's awesome.
Yeah. And I really like the DeFi apps who has friendly interface. Yeah. So and that's why we built a very cute Dodo logo image.
Yeah. It is a cute website. That is the best way to describe it. It's very definitely, if in case anyone like hasn't clicked on the link there yet, just a quick view of the website here, which I think this goes to the reason I'm sharing this is I think it goes to making DeFi more approachable and friendly. That's something I think over the last few months that has exploded. Last fall, I was telling friends and colleagues, like, you are missing out on like a revolution here. Like the UX has drastically improved in DeFi, and I don't think the UX is going to hold us back. I think it's a matter of just, finding the right people who will use this and evangelize it. But anyways, yeah, it's great to see this continue to become more and more like user friendly. Can you talk to me about what do you think? What do you think more need to understand about DeFi? Like, what is something that is misunderstood about DeFi that we need to educate more people on?
Well, I think DeFi is also a business, so it needs operation and marketing. And for now, we saw a lot of team. Most of them are funded by engineers, and most of the team members are engineers, and they can make really good product and really advanced technology, but lack of operations and marketing, and that may I mean that if they can improve a little bit on this kind of things, that will help them a lot to enter the market.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So actually, our team is pretty balanced on both development and marketing and operation. Yeah. So it's not like the team should always follow Radar Bear's idea, and it's not the team should always follow my idea. Yeah, but we are balanced, and we respect each other's requirements. That's like I will let Radar Bear and the engineer team to rush to build a product very, very quickly. Yeah, and he don't but when we have some requirements and the need based on our watching the market, the tech team will look at it and realize some our needs. Yeah, so I think we are just great partners for each other.
So you're both based in China. Can you tell me, do you see the crypto community becoming more interested in DeFi in China? Or has the market prices have fallen quite a bit? Has that affected any growth and interest? Like, are people less interested now that prices are down?
Well, I think people are still very crazy about DeFi in China. So what I say is that in this conference in Shanghai, everyone is still talking about DeFi. And they still think that there can be a very great room to improve on DeFi, especially there are a lot of people they used to build a chain before, but now they are very willing to build an application, especially DeFi application. So I saw really a lot of developers interested in this and working on this. And I think these developers can make great product, and all the the wallet and the centralized exchange is very open to the DeFi world, especially the wallet. There are a lot of people in China. They have their assets in wallet, but not a centralized exchange. And in this,
that's good.
In the last few months, the wallet moves really fast, and they integrate those DeFi into their applications and educate their customers. So there are really a lot of people in China using DeFi. And I think they will keep using that because that is really a native good experience.
What are the use cases that are most compelling or most interesting to the DeFi community that you see growing in China? Is it lending? Is it trading? Is it derivatives? What are people talking about the most?
Well, I think swap and the lending and actually except for the derivatives. All the file is really hard. Yes, because like derivatives is really like something professional, and there is not a very popular DeFi in the last few months that can capture people's attention. So maybe I think derivatives is still a blue ocean for the market. So there are a lot of opportunities for this kind of product.
Any platform that you're seeing get talked about more, get more usage, like I think about synthetics, I think about MC Dex or Monte Carlo Dex, which offers perpetuals markets, which is a really powerful tool, especially because you can short and hedge against downside in the market. What else is there? There's lots there, but yeah, just curious. Any derivatives platforms in DeFi that are getting more attention in China?
Well, I didn't see people talking about swap, lending, farming, these things because these are really easy. And
Yeah, I think swap is still the hottest topic in Chinese community.
And by the way, the derivatives it requires that there is already a big spot market. So for most of the assets, they cannot find some usage on the derivative platform. So most of the assets, so every asset has a project team. So the team will promote some applications for their community members. So most of them will recommend a swap or recommend a lending protocol for their community members. But derivatives is really hard because there are only a few assets is big enough to have some usage on the derivatives.
Interesting. Yeah. Any derivatives in particular that people are more interested in or get talked about? Like, I think about with a synthetics, you can gain exposure to commodities like gold and silver, but they actually have a few indexes or indices, however you say it, like the Nikkei 225 and the FTSE. And then there's a lot of excitement about when there will eventually be derivatives of U.S. equities, like the big ones, like Apple and Google, and when will those show up there? But yeah, just curious, are there any derivatives that you think DeFi investors in China would be more excited about?
That was your opinion?
Yeah, I think there are still a lot of room for retailers and consumers to learn about derivatives and this different features. Yeah, I think there are still a lot of room for this derivative platform to educate.
Do you think there is anything in the DeFi user experience that's holding back more crypto investors that we're talking about that are growing interested in DeFi in China? Is there anything in the user experience that is preventing them from getting involved and actually putting money into DeFi? Like anything that needs improvement for them to participate in DeFi?
I think it's a product. Most of the product seems really geek and too technology and too professional. A lot of users, they first come into DeFi. They may hear some rumor about that the hackers or some misoperation makes them lose money. So why swap really popular in China? Because it's really easy and really easy to understand. So you can intuitively know what you are doing. But very complicated like derivatives, so people don't know what they are doing. So they feel a little afraid of what they are doing. So if they can package the product to more user-friendly way. Like you say here are only two buttons. One means that you think the assets will grow, and two is that it will decrease. So just two button and like something in like it's really easy.
Yeah.
Red or blue you can choose.
I'm curious, is Uniswap like the most popular app, or what is the most popular DeFi application for the users that you talk with that are local to where you live?
I think it's Uniswap.
Uniswap, yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. And Uniswap is so easy, and your interface is really simple and easy as well. I am interested this whole like conversation I around like derivatives. I am interested whether MC DEX will gain more attention because they're based out of Beijing, and I can empathize as a user when you see someone interviewed and you have something in common, you know, like they live close to you or they live in a community that feels like yours, which I'm based in the United States. So like when I see people based out of New York or San Francisco, I tend to find more in common immediately with them because we live in the same country. I am curious if like teams like yours and MC DEX will, you know, lead the way, you know, that like more DeFi investors in China will realize, hey, these are founders that live in the same place I do, and so they'll be more open and curious to try those DeFi applications. But do you think that figures into the psychology of a DeFi user that you're targeting? Like, I talked to Arthur 0x, who's based in Singapore, so not in China, but he was talking to me about how pragmatic investors are in Asia. He said in comparison to like the United States and Europe and other parts of the world there. Does that reflect, I guess, your experience working with DeFi investors in Asia?
Yeah, of course, I think it's true because people can see us. We do a lot of like we talk with your customers in WeChat, and we give a lot of broadcast and live show, so they really know who we are, and we are really happy to be open to the public. Well, they may be concerned that if I use some protocol that is run by a foreigner, what if the product failed? So they natively trust us because we both speak Chinese. We talk a lot, not only the product in the group. And we can meet each other. So this time I came to Shanghai, and we see a lot of fans of our community. So we face to face and talk with them. What is our plan, and how will we listen there, recommend, and improve the product? And they feel really happy. They feel like they get closer to the product, and they feel safer.
Yep. Actually, so I've got one more question for you. I've kept you a little bit over time. One thing we didn't touch upon is Dodo works with Binance Smart Chain as well, right?
Yeah.
And so can you talk to me about the experience of building on Binance Smart Chain, and I guess like what's been the progress there versus what progress you have with Ethereum users? Like, I guess any differences to call out so far, or any like lessons to share from building also on Binance Smart Chain?
Well, building on Smart Chain is really simple. It's really easy because it's just like deploy the contract on Coven test network. So that is a really cheap way to deploy your application to another chain. And we do think that Binance Smart Chain has its opportunity because Binance has the greatest traffic in the crypto world, and they are really aggressive on the Binance Smart Chain and put a lot of resources to do the marketing or something. I don't know if it will success because like the DeFi users is not there is a very small overlap between DeFi users and Binance users. I'm not sure if Binance Smart Chain will win, but if someday that the traffic in the Binance Smart Chain is big enough, the protocols may earn money on that. And we as an application, if we can earn money on that and it's really cheap to deploy it on that, we will do that.
Yeah. No. Appreciate that perspective. I think we all know like the majority, 99 point however much percent is happening on Ethereum, but I am definitely continuing to keep my eye on what's also being enabled on Binance Smart Chain, some other blockchains. I know Cream was another one that had launched on Binance Smart Chain after having a lot of success on Ethereum. So, well, great to meet you both. And I guess anything else that you'd like to leave folks with, like anything else that they should know about Dodo. I just want to remind everyone, you can learn more at dodox.io. The app is there, so you can launch it if you have an Ethereum wallet. And then, don't forget to follow Radar Bear. This is his Twitter account, and then Diane. And thank you again to Diane. Just dropped off, but Diane is definitely sick right now, and just really appreciate her having joined. Anyways, Radar Bear, anything else that you'd like folks to know about Dodo before you go?
Oh, well, Dodo will focus on new assets issuing, especially the permissionless IDO. So that is the initial Dodo offering. We will focus on that, and we will make it incredibly lower down the threshold of issue assets. And when the product is ready, we will have a lot of incentive plans and a lot of exciting news to tell you guys. So give us some time and we will make the product really awesome.
Hey, we'd love to have you back. And we were talking about this before we went live, but we have hired someone about a month ago now who is bilingual. He speaks Chinese, and he's worked on lots of crypto projects that have been popular in China. So we're just excited at Zapper to work more closely with our growing community in Asia, and also we're looking to do some Yield TV interviews in Chinese because while we're very grateful that so many DeFi users are bilingual, and I really appreciate you being able to join us and speak English on this, I think it's really important that we're supportive and cater to those that also speak another language. So just thanks again, like really appreciate it. I can't speak Chinese, so you made it very easy for me.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. And just a reminder to everyone, next week on Monday, we will interview Jeff from Axie Infinity. We'll be interviewing on Tuesday the founder of Curve, who goes by, his name's Michael. Not going to share his last name. I think he likes to maintain some privacy. And then we have Leighton Cusack from Pull Together. And then on Thursday, we will have Michael Dunworth from Wire. So anyways, just thanks so much again, Radar Bear, for joining us. And everybody have a wonderful weekend. And we will see you next week.